Hey, welcome to Dad Does Dinner, the COVID-19 edition. Hope everybody's hanging in there, finding stuff to do to keep you occupied. Around here, we like to cook, and so that's what I've been doing. Each day, dreaming up what I want to cook next. So today, we're going to do a little New Orleans-style barbecue shrimp with some grits and some roasted veggies. Now, I spent a lot of my education years in northern Louisiana. Then I moved down to New Orleans for grad school. I am Texas born and bred, and that's where I live now. But if you ever spend any time in New Orleans, you're always going to leave part of your heart there. So New Orleans barbecue shrimp, for those of you who don't know, it's basically shrimp that is poached in butter with a bunch of seasonings. You can put your own twist on it, however you like to do it, and today I'm going to cook what I like to do. We're all doing what we can to get by, and I a lot of times turn my stress into cooking in the kitchen. So I spent a little prep time getting my mise en place ready, and that's a bad French pronunciation for get your stuff ready. All right, so here we've got a pound of raw Gulf shrimp. Now my preference would have really been to get it with the heads on, but the store didn't have it. Fairly large size shrimp. And then I've got some celery and one stalk of celery, half an onion, stick and a half of butter, lemon juice from one lemon along with the zest. You know, anytime you cook with that your recipe calls for lemon juice or lime juice or any kind of citrus, go ahead and zest it too, because that really gives a nice citrus pop to what you're doing. Here's an entire clove of garlic, about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I've got about a tablespoon and a half of Tony Chacher's, about a half teaspoon of salt, probably a tablespoon of pepper, and just enough cayenne to let you know it's there. Got a bunch of parsley. You know, now that I've been cooking a little bit, I realize that parsley doesn't add a whole lot of flavor, but when you add it, it sure makes you look like you know what you're doing. Then I got a little salt, because I always add a little salt to everything. Now, in the skillet, I've already got a half stick of butter going, and we're about to saute our celery and onions in that. Over here, I've got my grits ready to go. In the pot, I've got 2 cups of cream and 2 cups of turkey broth. Anytime a recipe calls for water, I usually put in chicken broth or turkey broth, whatever broth I have available to me. It really amps up the flavor in it. Now, every time we cook a turkey here or cook a chicken, we always make fresh broth ourselves. And this is some fresh turkey broth that we made here at the house. All right, for the grits, I got a cup of grits. Now, these are quick cook grits. I've got a sprig of rosemary, sprig of thyme, pinch of salt and pepper, about a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. When you get using Parmesan cheese, always grate it yourself and get the good Reggiano Parmigiana. And then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons, maybe a fourth of a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Over here, I got my zucchini and squash that I've sliced up and I've tossed with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And we're going to finish those with a little Parmesan cheese. All right, I got my butter going in the pan, and I'm going to add into that half an onion, stalk of celery that I've diced up. Anytime that I'm sauteing vegetables like this, I always add a little bit of salt. It adds flavor. It also helps bring out the natural sugars that are in the vegetables just a little bit more. Now we're going to do this for a little bit. Saute it around just till they start to get soft. All right, I'm liking the way the celery and onion is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. We're going to let that garlic go for, just about a minute. You're just trying to heat it up some and, get it to start to sweeten up a little bit. That's what happens with garlic when you cook it like this. So this is smelling really good. Now I'm going to start to add the other components. I've also got here a sprig of rosemary that I cut from our fresh rosemary bush, and a bunch of thyme that I picked up at the grocery store. So that's going to go in, flavor it up a little bit. All right, so this is going on. Now I'm going to add my cayenne pepper, my salt and pepper, and my Tony Chacher's. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this lemon juice and lemon zest. That's it's a fairly large Meyer lemon. All right, now that's going. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 more sticks of butter and just kind of let that melt down. Yeah, I know it's a lot of butter, and we're using heavy cream in the grits. But this is time for comfort food. These are crazy times we're living in. I've been doing a lot of walking outside because our gym's closed, obviously. The past couple of years, I've really started to take up exercise to deal with my stress, my anxiety, and also my body. Those who know me, you know I got a couple of bad knees, and I've really found that exercise helps them out. So anyway, so I'm out walking in my neighborhood, seeing all kinds of neighbors I've ever seen before. Every guy I know is out there doing mindless tasks, either pressure washing or raking leaves or just making up stuff to do. So I guess that's a good side benefit of this. Some little jobs are getting done, some honeydews, and at the same time, people are out getting exercise. Now, I still don't talk to any of my neighbors, but I do see them out there, so that's a good thing. We can go ahead and add our Worcestershire sauce. That brings out that nice umami flavor that we like. All right, and now we can go ahead and put the shrimp in. You're gonna cook the shrimp. You just let them sit. Once they start to get peak, you can turn them around a little bit. Turn them over. Now remember, you don't want to overcook the shrimp, and I like cooking them in the shells. I prefer with the heads on because that makes for a more flavorful, more juicy shrimp. Yeah, you got to peel it yourself, and it gets all kind of messy. If you really wanted to clean them up and peel them first, you can do that. But this just really brings a better flavor to the dish. And, in New Orleans, there's a place called Pascal Manali's. And I think they're the ones who originated this. And so when you go there and you order it, you sit down and they bring you a bib, a loaf of French bread, and a bowl of these wonderful shrimp and their butter sauce. And you sit there and you peel them yourself. And you get messy, and you take that bread and you just dip it into all that buttery shrimp, garlicky sauce, and man, there's just nothing like it. It's really an awesome dish. Okay, so as those got going, I went ahead and I started my cream and my turkey broth here. I'm going to give this a little stir. And I want to get this boiling pretty good. And then I'm going to whisk the grits in to them. While I'm waiting on that to get a little bit hotter, I'm going to add a little bit more parsley. Look how chefy that looks. All right, so I'm going to cook with some of the parsley in there. And then at the end, I'll finish it with more parsley. And it'll give it a good look. All right, so I got the cream and the turkey broth boiling. And I'm going to whisk these grits in. I'm employing the use of my camera operator, who happens to be my wife. If you want to make your life a little bit better, try some Young Living essential oils. She is a distributor. I figure my use of essential oils counteracts the pack a day of cigarettes that I smoke. All right, so we get those in there. And we're going to stir these. Got them nice. So that was 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits. And stir this around, and it's starting to thicken, and this takes about 5 minutes for it to come together. And once it starts to come together, then I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes, the Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to go ahead and put the salt and pepper in now. All right, it's starting to thicken up just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw these herbs in. All right, looks like these shrimp need a little turn to them. They are almost done. We're going to turn this over. I'll turn my heat way down to low here. We're just going to let these sit here and soak up some of the yummy goodness over a little low heat till the other side of them starts to turn pink. All right. These aren't going to take much longer. Turn off the heat altogether and then just let them sit until we're ready to serve. About another minute with some heat on them, and then I'm going to turn them off and just let them sit. All right. At this time, I'm going to take my squash and zucchini that I've tossed with olive oil, salt, and pepper. I'm going to put it in a 450-degree oven. Now, if you're not much of a vegetable person or much of a chef, I recommend roasting your vegetables. It's really easy to do. We roast squash, zucchini. We cut up broccoli, we cut up cauliflower, even green beans. Just the important is just make sure all your cuts are the same size. You stick them in a really hot oven. Check them after 15 minutes. And then once they start to caramelize a little bit, then they're done. Okay, cauliflower takes a little longer than the squash and zucchini, but it's a great way to do vegetables. All right, I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. That should be good on the squash and zucchini. My shrimp are coming along nicely. My grits are really thickening up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add my sun-dried tomatoes. These bring a lot of flavor to whatever you're cooking. I've just discovered them recently to use in dishes like this. What did I use them in the other day? Oh, I put them in some rice the other day. Really good. So you see how that's getting nice and thick? Okay. And now as it's really thickening up, I'm gonna add the goodness of the Parmesan cheese. Should get it all in there. All right. Just want to stir that up and melt it in. Now the good thing about quick cook grits, of course, is they do cook quickly. I do like the slower ones because they seem to just really absorb more flavor as you're cooking with them, and they got a deeper flavor, more depth of flavor to them. Okay. You can add a little garlic to this. That would be good. Grits are great because you can do anything you want with them. All right, so those grits look just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them off the heat. These shrimp, they are mostly opaque, but not completely done yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn them off. They're gonna finish cooking here in the sauce. In about 12 minutes, my vegetables are coming out. My roasted zucchini and my squash are coming out. And then I'll plate it up and show you how to eat it. While I was at the store, I picked up a loaf of fresh French bread. I put that in the toaster oven to warm. And also, while y'all weren't looking, I added another half stick of butter to the shrimp. Like lots of good sauce for dipping. You know, while we're waiting on the vegetables, I want to give a special shout out to Mike Burnett and the gang at One Arm Brewing and Barbecue. It's a mini microbrewery, and they are known for their all-you-can-eat sausage plate right there in San Angelo. Hey, y'all. All right, looks like these are just about done. So we're going to pull them out of the oven. We're going to dust them with a little Parmesan cheese. Let that rest for just a second while that cheese melts on there. Take these and just sprinkle it. You know, some recipes called, you can roast this with garlic. You know, I suggest if you do that, put the garlic in with about 5 minutes left on your cook time. Otherwise, I think that garlic's going to get a little bitter on you. All right, the bread's just about done. Next up, I'll plate it for you. All right, now I'll plate it up. Here's what it looks like. Now, if you happen to peel your shrimp before you cooked it, you can serve this the shrimp right on top of the grits, like in a normal shrimp and grits dish. Okay, I went ahead and peeled the shrimp, so you don't have to watch me do that. So you peel your shrimp, dip a little bit of this buttery goodness. Oh, the shrimp is sweet. That butter's got the real pop of that lemon zest in it. The herbs, the onions, the garlic, all really coming through. Now for the grits. Now with the grits, I put some of that shrimp butter on top. Oh, those grits are smooth and creamy, and that Parmesan cheese has that nice bite that cheese has to it. The sun-dried tomatoes bring a nice little sweetness to it, add a little zing. Now with the vegetables, that zucchini's sweet, seasoned just right, and that cheese also makes it pop a little bit, and the whole thing adds a little freshness to the dish. Hey y'all, these are weird times we're living in right now. We don't know what's coming next. We're isolating a lot, washing our hands like crazy. See what you can do that's kind for somebody else. I know the gang over at One Arm Brew and Barbecue. They're helping their church pack up meals for the needy. We're doing what we can to prepare for our online classes for our students. Both Amanda and I are performing arts professors. I teach at Lone Star College Montgomery. She teaches there part-time with me and part-time at Sam Houston State University. I really do miss our students right now. We had a real special year going, and both Amanda and I were participating in the production of Mamma Mia. So we're hoping we get to put that up on the stage in June. Hopefully everything will be back to normal by then. So y'all be kind to one another. Do what's right. I'll see you next time.